In this video we're asked to multiply together a series of matrices. So let's start with the first set where we're multiplying together 2, 3, 1, 2 by 1, 3, 4, 5. Now remember, in order to be able to multiply two matrices together, the first matrix has to have the same number of columns as the second matrix has rows. So the dimensions of these two matrices are 2 by 2 and 2 by 2. So the number of columns in the first matrix is 2. The number of rows in the second matrix is also 2. So these two matrices can be multiplied together. Now in order to multiply two matrices together, you take the elements of the column of the second matrix and multiply those by the elements of the row of the first matrix and add those results together. So the product of these two matrices, in order to get the top left element, we're going to take the top row of the first matrix and multiply it by the left-hand column of the second matrix. So the element will be 2 times by 1 plus 3 times by 4. So the top left element of the product matrix will be 2 plus 12, which is 14. In order to get the bottom left, we multiply the bottom row element by the left-hand element of the second matrix. So it's going to be 1 times by 1 plus 2 times by 4. So this is 1 times by 1 plus 2 times by 4. So that will be equal to 9. In order to get the right-hand column, we take the right-hand column of our second matrix and multiply it by, to get the top right, by the top row. So we have 2 times by 3 plus 3 times by 5. Which gives us a value equal to 6 plus 15, which is 21. And finally, to get the bottom right, we take the bottom row of the first matrix, we multiply it by the right-hand column, so that will be 1 times by 3 plus 2 times by 5. Which is 3 plus 10, which is 13. Moving into the second multiplication, let's just write down the dimensions of these matrices. This first matrix has 3 rows and 2 columns, and the second matrix has 3 rows and 2 columns. In order for us to be able to multiply these two together, we need to have the same number of columns in the first matrix as we have rows in the second matrix. But in this case, the two values are different. Because they're different, we cannot multiply these two matrices together. Now looking at part C, we have a 3 by 2 matrix that we're trying to multiply by a 2 by 3 matrix. So we've got 2 columns in the first matrix and we've got 2 rows in the second matrix, so we can multiply these two together. And the resulting matrix will be a 3 by 3 matrix. So in order to get our result, we multiply the columns of the second matrix by the rows of the first matrix. So to get our top left element, we take the top row of the first matrix, multiply it by the left column of the second matrix. So that's going to be 1 times by 2 plus 2 times by 4, which will be equal to 2 plus 8, which is equal to 10. Similarly, to get the middle left element, it will be the middle row of the first matrix multiplied by the left-hand column, so it will be 3 times by 2 plus 4 times by 4, which is 6 plus 16, which is 22, and we carry on to give us the bottom left, which will be the bottom row of the first matrix, multiplied by the first column of the second matrix. So that's 5 times by 2 plus 6 times by 4, so that's 10 plus 24, which is 34. We can carry this on with the middle row, so that would be 1 times by 3 plus 2 times by 2, so that's 3 plus 4, which is 7. Then 3 times by 3 plus 4 times by 2, so that's 9 plus 8 is 17. Then 5 times by 3 plus 6 times by 2, so that's 15 plus 12, which is 27. And finally, we do the right-hand column. To get to the top right, it'll be 1 times by 4 plus 2 times by 1. To get the right-hand middle, we take the middle row and multiply it by the right-hand column, so 3 times by 4 plus 4 times by 1. And bottom right will be 5 times by 4 plus 6 times by 1, which gives us values of 4 plus 2 is 6, 12 plus 4 is 16, and 20 plus 6 is 24.